So could we do, the attendance?
Yes. Corey,
Here.
Ellis,
Here.
Fellows,
Here.
Hart,
Here.
Easy, Malone.
Can't figure out how to do the sharing and
Oh.
still be able to see.
So if you hit the present, it's gonna go big, but then hover over that. Oh.
Kelly, can you see Travis's screen?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Just so you know, we won't be able to see you. So
What happens if you minimize? Will it,
yeah, we're gonna view.
or view, you could go,
Try gallery, see what that does.
Just gonna put it. Okay, I'll just move it over.
I still feel like if you minimize it, it'll put Kelly's face in the,
I think you're right.
oh no, now if you go up
No.
though and do the first box, yeah. There's
Got it. There we go.
You figure it's Yahtzee. Yes, it's only been 5 years. So we're at-
I hit some new business here. We wanna look at the minutes. Review of the minutes, or any concerns? Concerns with the minutes. Do I hear a move to approve the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from July 9th, 2025. I will second that motion.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, so we have the, development into revised FY 2024 financial report. Did anybody like to, help us on this? Yes.
So the bad news is that we might have overstated last year by $1.9 million. Not that the details of how it happens to matter to y'all, but our permitting system, they added this button without telling the people that review impact fees that they added a automatically invoice fee button. So usually what happens is fees are automatically populated by the system, but then myself or one of my colleagues go in and actually review them and then invoice them. So they can't be paid without us looking at them. In this instance, they had automatically invoiced $1.9 million of fees that were bypass your approval. Correct. And it was just on a foundation permit. We don't assess until they go vertical. And amazingly, St. Luke's did a bad night. St. Luke and paid it. In their defense, their fee ultimately was 7 figures. So that might have been the reason for it. And just when the subsequent fees came up in the 2025 correctly assessed. They said, wait a second, it seems a little steep here. And it turns out it was. So anyway, so I put the fees up on the screen just so people can see it. I guess the percentage variances are eye-watering, for lack of a better term. Once you correct for those, we were slightly under budget last year versus, I think when we reported we were over budget, doing pretty good. So that's the bad news. However, the good news is, this year in 25, we have correctly collected those, the significant portion of those fees. So 61% were the corrected fees. So 1.9 should have never been collected. And the actual fees on the structures that they were building was 1.1, and we collected those. But the even better news is that, we're just not going to cover off the ball this year, and it's largely driven by commercial. So the stat there is 172% of budget, which is not bad. The interesting thing is, Central Bench continues to lag, and although Parks is doing better than it has in the past, you'll remember last year in 24 was basically all driven by commercial, being police and fire, which is still driving a lot of it here. But just across the board, we're doing very well. So, Parks is still at 150% of budget overall, but that pales in comparison with 200%, 40% for fire and police, so. So net, when you look at, what in the 24 annual report was, I forget what the exhibit number was, but it's where we showed the projection for how the impact these balances are gonna look over time. If anything, they're getting better today than what was projected in 24, right? That's why I'm providing a restatement of it, because it's changed in 3 years, it's hard to get a clean snapshot. And the net of it is we're sitting better than we thought we would be at this point. So that was my really quick explanation of $1.9 million mistake, which again, is a big number, so if there's questions, happy to dig into it.
So is I hearing you right, where you said it was 1.9 for that part, but then they still needed to pay 1.1.
That's actually right, and so the
Standing.
and honestly, you probably, not that we wouldn't inform you of something that's material, but like honestly, it probably wouldn't even be anything that would be its own meeting outside of the fact that it spanned fiscal years. So we'll actually have to restate last year's results because it was, 25% of our
Yeah.
fees weren't there. So we'll be restating when we do this year's annual report. But I wanted to have at least a kind of a clean perspective coming in 25, so we're not spending half the time talking about like what happened in 24 restatement. And it's just kind of, all right, here's what happened, and when we get into the 25 report, it'll just be a different starting point. The starting point will be what's shown on this page here. Now, for your benefit, that's the impact fee annual revenue report in one of the exhibits. So that'll be the starting point now, and then from there on, it should be clean.
So point of clarification, if this would have gone perfectly, they would have paid 1.15.
No, well, no, so that's the problem, is because our policy, and it is just a policy, it's not an ordinance or anything, it's once you go vertical on the charge, and because of that, the fee could have been 0.
Okay.
And so there's a separate permit that we had this year. Sorry, Kelly, what was that?
Hey, it's Jill.
Oh, hi,
Sorry.
Jill.
I just wanted to let you know I showed up, sorry. And I was
Oh.
wondering if you could stop the screen share so I can see y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, sorry. I had a Zoom that was supposed to be an hour that went 2 hours, so.
Just to recap, we overstated last year's revenues by 1.9, but we're, running at. Sorry, with my slides now, I don't have the exact percentage.
That's okay.
It's about 175% of budget this year, so
I read the thing for
we're
once.
overall ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I read the thing, so I'm up to speed.
All right, good, and yeah, sorry that you missed the beginning bit, and it was only a couple minutes worth, so you missed all of it.
A few more questions.
Absolutely.
So what stops this? I guess now you told us what happened.
Yeah.
Has it been fixed or?
Yes, that button it works only for the building permits, not the impact fee related PRK permit.
We shouldn't see this. Well, things happen, but.
No, I mean, this is obviously a big deal, like it escalated to auditors, like the whole PDS department kind of got slapped a little bit for this mistake, so.
It's good to know the same. I thought it was nice. My
Yeah.
job made sense to us. St. Luke's does keep building wide as well. I did do the calculations on the penalty amount, which is the interest. Is there any rationale why the penalty amount was different? For buyer it was 2.6%. And then I believe it was 2%. Sorry, I don't have this. It was just the penalty. I figured those would have been the same, the amount. 2.4. And I can show you how I got to those, I mean, I was just pulling from yours. Basically, it came from the difference in the actuals and the interest.
Sorry, so that is. The interest, that's just an approximation, and the interest is, the way that accounting does it is, penalty interest is just paid by the fund generically, it's not paid by the fire, or park, or police. And so it's just based on overall fund balance is how they allocate interest. And so, right, so unless everything I just said is incorrect, you should see that the fire balance is just higher than the police balance.
Which is great. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Doing a percentage of total funds available. And split.
Right, exactly. So it'll say like, all right, well, we had, $1 million of interest earnings, which it wasn't that high. So whatever we had is just allocated pro rata based on
That makes sense.
ending fund balance.
Just making sure it was all cleaned up.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And penalty interest is something separate. So on the refund, we actually had to pay. I think penalty interest now is something like 5 5/8% or something like that. So not a cheap mistake that we made.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was looking at this page. What's going on the West Bench? That's great.
Hey, guys. Any chance you can, when you talk, like face your voice toward the microphone?
Oh, yeah, where is our microphone? Is it that? Oh, yes, I can do that.
Oh, super. That's way better.
Good.
Share this again, just so that I think it'll help for Tony.
Yeah. So I was referencing one of the pages in our packet, it's two of three on the.
And just so you know, this is updated for what we think the full year is gonna be in the packet.
Was just your data. So I was asking a question about the West Bench. The West Bench numbers look great. Audited receipts of what, 560,000, and we're at 1.4 million. So I was just wondering what's going on the West Bench?
I'll get back to you on that, but I do know that there was a couple larger developments that came through out there. So it wasn't just a couple single families. I think it was some bigger multifamily things that came through, but I'd have to look exactly what those were.
Nice.
And we might need to talk about what that means for 29 or 27
Okay,
out there.
In terms of park.
Yeah.
yeah, just accelerate more.
Oh, really good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, always. It's always good stuff. We've got some projects, right?
Yeah.
So, great.
In Southeast Boise, 230% of budget as well, so.
Yeah.
yeah, and 25 was, and we'll see what happens in 26, because the kind of projections were based on what turned out inaccurate 24 numbers. But we did change the methodology in 26 to hopefully be more directionally accurate on the local park planning areas.
Okay.
Because regional parks is easy, it's just a function of overall development, but where that development's gonna happen. So in other words, hopefully we won't have another year of underperformance for the central bench. Not that actually means higher revenues, but it'll just mean the variance to budget will be smaller, hopefully. But yeah, and in some of these, like, again, if it is the permit that I'm thinking of, there was one fairly large one in the West Bench that was 300 or 400 grand in and of itself. Well, I could be conflating that with something else, so don't quote me on that. But again, it was just very hard to predict. And just a nice kind of windfall.
That was my question.
No, so this is purely informational, because as far as I know, according to the code. And Kelly, correct me if you think I'm incorrect, but I did ask Rob about this. Is the requirement for state codes that I show you that we present the annual reports we did back in February. This is just purely an FYI, this error happened. And so just letting you know that changed, and it doesn't require a formal yay, nay, anything.
Okay, and I saw that it was marked as an action item on the agenda, so I was gonna follow up with you on that. If you didn't vote on it previously, then don't vote on it now.
Oh, I don't know if we've ever had this previously. So I mean,
She meant, did we vote on the February? We voted then, right?
I think that is,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
If
voted on
we
April,
want to do it here too, I mean, it's fine, I mean, we got the memorandum. It documents everything.
The recommendation says no motion and this is
Yeah.
an informational item.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean, Kelly?
Yes, I don't know, if you have previously voted on these financial reports, annual financial reports. So if you did not vote, because this is the revised version, if you did not vote on it previously, then there's no need to vote on it now if it's purely informational. If you did previously vote on a fiscal year 2024, the report, then since you're revising it, you should approve it.
Fine.
Okay, well,
Question.
yes.
It seems like what we're getting today is notice that we're going to have an updated 2024 report, but we do not currently have the updated 2024 report. Is that correct, Travis?
I wasn't planning on doing a complete revision, but what I could do when we bring forward the 25 report is just have, parts at the back of that is, I mean, it'll basically just be the year that we had here, but it'll be that, but based on official restatement as opposed to budget office accounting, which is imperfect.
Just an addendum at the back of.
Well, it could be a completely separate restatement of the 24, but I think it's just, yes, Tony, it's just a FYI that I will, I guess, need to provide an update of the 24 report, but this will be the material restatement that's there.
So we'll, if we voted, I think we should follow up and see if we voted in February.
Right.
Because I cannot remember either. It may have been an informational item. If we did vote, then let's bring it forth in February with that revised report and vote again in February. And I think this is right, they can just do an informational item
Agreed.
as an update. And we're getting nods from Kelly, which makes me happy.
we might vote when I think we vote for the FY 25 budget.
Yes.
Setting the budget.
That's what we usually do.
Yeah,
but we don't-
and that was a formal recommendation that, but
But not the report.
once again, I don't know that there's like.
Hey,
again,
guys.
Was that?
Yeah, Joe?
Can you speak this?
Sorry, I said I think we
question?
vote on the FY 25, on the fiscal year budget, not the review of what happened in that year, but the budget
Itself.
of that year, yeah. And we're not talking about revising FY 25's budget now,
Correct.
so.
So our thinking, like, go ahead.
Yes, you're.
Our thinking is we do not have to vote right now on approving any changes. But if we do, we can do it when we reconvene next time. Right.
Got it.
And that is when we can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
So is there, I not see any other new business? Are we actually ready for an adjournment at this point?
I would just like to add, I'm glad the problem is fixed. I mean, we'll have to get through.
Yeah. As are we all.
I move to adjourn. Second that motion.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
I.
We are adjourned.